Greetings everyone, my name is Artifical, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 10 levels from the most popular cube. So in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more virus-made levels. Starting out with this one, SolarMan by Hydrochlorination, with 26 plays and a score of 6. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check out what levels covered, expand the description. I guess this will be a remake of the SolarMan stage from Mega Man 10. We start with a whole slew of special weapons, and in this level I'll be playing as Proto Man for a change. I would play as base, but I would rather have the increased firepower of Proto Man. And in this case we actually have access to the Proto Strike as Proto Man, so I suppose we take double damage here. Let me double check. Yeah, I definitely take double damage. Good enough trade-off. Being able to deal 3 points of damage per every hit is an amazing ability, especially considering how spammable it is. Good checkpoint placement. I think it's at the same place as the original though. Huh, that's strange. Can we deflect those fire bars using the Proto Shield? Let me take a look. Oh, I guess we can, and I got hit in the same location. Wonderful. Being able to deflect these fire bars, the horizontal ones, makes the Proto Man more useful as well. And I don't know what happened there. I'm having problems grabbing onto the ladder for some reason. Third time's a charm, I suppose. But being able to deflect those fire bars, the horizontal ones, is going to be super useful in some future stages. And yet I foolishly died over there because I went too fast. Wonderful. In some ways, playing as Proto Man is both a blessing and a curse. I'm more susceptible to damage, but I more easily kill off all the enemies. Some of these enemy setups though, they feel a bit more difficult in the original level, especially considering that the fire bars can deflect our shots. Nonetheless, it's time to fight Fairman over here. And his weakness was the star crash. I guess it makes sense, considering that SolarMan's weakness was the water shield, and that was a shield type weapon. It was a decent recreation using the assets present in Mega Man Maker, so I will give it a thumbs up. It is certainly a difficult level though, so I'd only recommend it for intermediate Mega Man players, or utilize the special weapons if you're a beginner to semi-skilled Mega Man Maker player. Second up is Bubble Man Remix by Shin Lone Wolf 981, with 114 plays and a score of 39. So let's see how this remix fares. All of the previous remixes by Shin Lone Wolf, they didn't really appeal to me. I would have taken the bottom route if I had access to sliding. Generous checkpoint placement over here. Both this and the previous level are doable buster only, but utilizing special weapons make them a whole lot easier, especially with the previous one. For a second there, I thought it'd be a traditional spike drop segment. Another generous checkpoint over there. I guess we're forced to utilize a special weapon over there, either the Windstorm or Rush Coil, just like with all the previous remix stages by the same author. And I died over there due to my foolish positioning. And I guess this is the end of the level. Honestly, just like with the previous remixes, I prefer the original incarnations. At least this is on the better side compared to the previous ones. And I was right, the needle cannon is Bubble Man's weakness. After all, it does pop his bubbles. Just like with the previous set of remix stages, this didn't appeal with me. Third level on the lineup is Enter the Artificial Biotop in the Sea of Madness by Monty with 9 plays and a score of 0. This is by the same author of Enter the Electric Funeral along with the remake that I played several parts back. So let's see what lessons Monty took from that stage and how they applied it to this stage, as well as what new ideas they bring to the table. And judging by the long loading time, this stage will be at least 70 to 80 screens long. I wish in a future update a progress bar or counter is added here just to showcase that the Mega Man Maker engine hasn't frozen, because that has happened a few times before. And we have a slow intro crawl as well. Oh no, the stage is playing at 50% to 75% speed. Even worse. And we also have stuttering and micro-stuttering, even worse. It's gonna be one of those stages, I see. It's probably laggy due to the size of the stage as well as all the objects here. Well, at least I'll have more time to react to everything. And I see we're gonna be forced to utilize the oil slider here in order to make this jump. And yet I died over there, wonderful, because I didn't time my jumps properly. We're off to a good start, I see. And considering the difficulty of Monty stages, I expect to die here at least a dozen times. That's a rather generous checkpoint placement, but knowing Monty that means the following segment's gonna be more difficult than usual. And I see why, we have spikes. I'm missing that E-tank there, so I will go for it. And more spikes, wonderful. So I see we're gonna be spike dodging here. Well, the slow motion does give me more time to react, but still, it somewhat throws me off as well. Good thing I didn't drop down over there, it'd be instant death for me. And thank you graciously for the checkpoint. In fact, this and the preceding checkpoint are placed in good locations. The first one is placed in a section that Monty correctly anticipated that players would die repeatedly on, and he put it afterwards for players so they don't need to repeat this segment again. And we immediately gain access to the water wave and ring boomerang here. Well, okay then. And that was just poor jumping on my part. I honestly expected to die at least once in that previous segment, but no. I died at the beginning as well as this part of the stage. I guess we're in the Biotop now. The undersea portion specifically. Should I go to the left or right first? Let's go to the left. Usually there's some hidden goodies there. Otherwise, it'll be an alternate pathway. What was that for anyway? Is there a secret I'm missing? I probably dropped down from above or something. Probably in that spy quarter segment where I was jumping over all of them using the oil slider, there was an alternate route where I could drop down over here. But if I did, I wouldn't gain access to the water wave and ring boomerang. At least this hot dog was placed in an environment which makes it a bit more difficult to fight. And I swear I'm missing something down over there in that bed of spikes, but I won't risk it. Nope, nothing to the left. Just my imagination. For a second there in that shaft, the game ran at normal speed, but now it's back down to the laggy speed. The lag of the stage does give me more time to react, but it does kill my enjoyment of the stage somewhat. You may want to split the stage into 2 parts. That way it'll rectify this issue. And remember, if you're playing the stage on a weaker computer, these lag issues will be a lot worse. If there's another thing I'm thankful for of this stage, it's the fact that the checkpoint placement is on point. The checkpoint density of this stage is well balanced relative to the difficulty. I didn't mean to drop down over here, but okay then. Because I saw something up there. Oh well, it's probably an extra special weapon, or an E&M tank. Well, I guess that upper pathway either links up to this pathway from the right, or it's a secret, or an optional route. There's another one of these doors here for some reason. I guess this is the route to go. And it leads back over here. I guess we have 2 mini routes to go through. And we're back up over here. Another thing I'm thankful for are these frequent weapon capsules so you can refill your weapon energy. After all, this is a fortress level. And we're back up over here. I guess if we went from the left, we would gain access to the E-Tank and extra life, and skip this segment. Or skip the bottom segment. So it's basically a shortcut. Well, this is a neat setup for the hot dog. And it didn't decide to glitch out. This is different as well. You're doing a pretty good job varying up the tried and true hot dog encounters, Monty. That was a really close one there. Wow, I almost died there and was left with just 1 HP there. Amazing luck. It seems that a whole slew of alternate routes that I'm missing, or I can go on. Well, it definitely adds to the replayability, so I do approve. And now we're in the 4th segment of this Biotop. When they say Biotop, I guess they mean an artificial biome. And it makes sense, this is underwater, but we have a forest environment here. And this stage definitely heavily incentivizes you to utilize your special weapons, especially the oil slider. Another good checkpoint placement. It seems that as you go further along in the stage, the rooms become more and more enemy spammy. Like here, it feels like I entered a new stage in itself. This feels like this would be a perfect place to put a part 2 of the level, once we entered the Biotop itself. And now we fight Toadman. Also of interesting note, once I entered this boss arena, the stage decided to stop lagging and played at normal speed. So I guess the previous rooms just had too many objects and gimmicks in them. I'll give it a thumbs up, sure, but you should split the stage into 2 parts because of the lag issues. I mean, for at least 2/3 of the stage played at about 60 to 70% of the normal speed, not to mention all the micro stutters and stuttering, and these will all be worse on weaker computers. But other than that, I like the level design, especially the level progression, how we started out outside the Biotop, we went underneath it, then at last we entered into the facility and the forest region, where there was a mad dash of enemies to protect Toadman, and then we fought Toadman himself. 4th level on the lineup is SCWN-014 Boatman by Jidok74, with 11 plays and a score -1. And just like all the previous stages by Jidok74, we start with a whole arsenal of special weapons. And for this level, I'll be playing as Bass. After all, I've already played as Mega Man and Proto Man in this part. So let's give Bass some time to shine. In fact, playing as Bass makes that intro segment a lot easier. I mean, if you're playing as Bass, it's just faster to skip past those enemies. Unless you're using special weapons. In fact, by doing so, I was able to spare the lives of all those robotic enemies. Except this one. And by taking this slower route, we gain access to a free M-Tank, E-Tank, and an extra life, as well as allowing us to skip that upper challenge. And remember, the majority of the stages by Jidok74 are doable buster only. The only exceptions are the Fortress stages, well, some of them, as well as 1 or 2 World Master levels, one of them being Fly Woman. It says to use either the treble boost or charge kick down over there. But considering we're playing as Bass, we can make this challenge a whole lot easier by just using dash jumping. Sure, treble boost makes the segment a lot easier, but it is doable with Bass's base abilities. If you're playing as Mega Man or Proto Man though, you need to use a charge kick, or damage boost on his spikes and skip this challenge entirely, like here for example. Whoops. That's an obvious circumvention of the challenges. Probably should patch up that bed of spikes there, Jidok. I mean, any character can do that. You're supposed to grab onto and stay on top of the footholder there, but if you're playing as Bass, well, you can circumvent it, or if you use the charge kick's air jump. This, however, was a complete mistake on my part. Then again, I could have salvaged it if I used a treble boost there. You're supposed to ride on top of these footholders, but using the treble boost is a lot faster. And I'd rather not wait around. And that's the end of the stage. This stage had more generous checkpoint placement than usual, but it was okay. Overall, it's an okay water level, I suppose. Probably a 5.5 out of 10. Though playing as base made this a whole lot easier. I mean, it allowed me to circumvent most of the challenges, combined with a treble boost, of course. Challenge progression was nice as well, although some of the segments, like that one segment with the spike, you can easily circumvent it. So 5th and final level to part is Castle of Challenge Part 4 by Marinekriegs and Mabrick, with 7 plays and a score of -1. Now Marinekriegs sent me an NSF file replacement for this level, so I will be silent for the first minute. This is the 4th and final level in the series of Castle Challenge stages. So challenge progression so far has been nice, and good checkpoint placement. I liked how we started first descending a tower, and then ascending the tower in the next section. I won't go for that E-Tank, it's just too risky. I could use a super arrow, but like I said, I don't want to risk dying here. And yet I died over here to that super ball cannon, wonderful. But remember, all these fortress segments are dual buster only. Using certain special weapons and utilities makes them a whole lot easier though, as expected. I knew there was going to be an alternate pathway to the right. We either have the choice of the charge kick or the magnet beam. I'll go for the charge kick, it's more versatile. And it links back over here, nice. So for more skilled players, they can go for either the magnet beam or the charge kick for extra rewards. I do approve. And both of them makes these falling segments a bit easier in different ways. And now we're on the outer castle walls of this castle. Though, if this was present in an actual Mega Man fan game, I would think there would be at least one more level following this, probably the Hatch rematch room against all the Roadmasters of the game. And the usage of We Are the Robots from Mega Man 9 is appropriate. Actually, I want to do a quick reset here just to be safe. And this E-Tank is basically a freebie in comparison to the previous ones. This bed of spikes was kind of a surprise though. That was just a screw up on my part. At least the number of checkpoints in the stage are getting more frequent. Yikes, these segments are going to be quite tough if you don't use time slowing weaponry, like either the time slow or the flash stopper. Thankfully, there is a checkpoint next to a weapon capsule respawner, so if you're having trouble, just use one of those two utilities. And the Shadow Man platform gimmick is introduced pretty well anyway, so it's a gradual introduction and combination challenges at the end, or rather escalation specifically. Like the first room up there, but now it has a bottomless pit. So even if you get knocked into spikes by one of the hammers or the hammer joes, you'll still have some time to react. That doesn't look like it would work, but I guess I was able to activate the flash stopper just 1 frame before that Hammer Joe opened his eyes. And thank you for the generous checkpoint placement, putting it right after that difficult segment. And now we have gyro platforms, which were introduced in the previous fortress, by the way. And even then, they still have a nice difficulty curve here, starting out easier, and then introducing enemies at the end, with these fan fiends to slow us down. Wait a minute, there was something down over there. Let me hit this checkpoint and go back down. I'm missing one other special weapon or utility that I can get in this stage, so let's go for it. And end up glitching the stage a bit. Good thing I didn't die. So here we need to utilize the flash stopper. Let's first kill off that enemy though. Actually, just use time slow here, that's better. Wow, I thought my invulnerability frames would have lasted longer there, but nope. Well, I'm dead? Somehow I'm surviving a lot here. Let's use an E-Tank and see if I survive this. Okay, by taking this route we gain access to Proto Man, who has access to infinite Proto Strike. So it was well worth it. Thank you for the checkpoint. Even though I bungled that segment quite a bit, I still survived somehow. It is well rewarding in more advanced play, so I do approve. This is definitely my favorite level of the part so far. It's a nice culmination to the castle challenge stages. Taking everything we learned from the previous 3 stages and wrapping it up into a nice package. And more so. Though this stage is definitely more on the long side. And that's that. That's the end of the fortress level. The only thing left is to face the boss fight. Too bad we don't have any fortress bosses in this engine yet. Overall, I'll give this stage at least a 7.5 out of 10. A pretty memorable fortress stage. It's definitely the best out of the 4 castle challenge stages. It isn't the hardest, I'd say part 3 was the hardest, but it was the most enjoyable. It's perfectly doable buster only. They're nice avenues for extra play for more advanced players, for getting an extra special weapon, the Proto Man capsule, as well as those E and M tanks. And the difficulty progression was mostly nice. You should be proud, Marinekriegs. You should be proud. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!